Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast, the English language on Canal International. Begin with our top stories. Worsening violence in Cameroon's Anglophone regions is taking an increasingly heavy toll on civilians, with renewed attacks almost every day. Through a video published by Amnesty International, it condemns abuses orchestrated by both the military and separatist fighters. The month of December starts tomorrow, Friday, a month considered as end of year, characterized with festivities. Birds howl to Cameroonians are planning to tackle the month. We'll have the details in this edition of Newscast. Education, health and agricultural stakeholders in the Damawa region are concerned with the homegrown school feeding program, expressing fears that smallholder farmers might not meet up with the project. Those are major stories. Welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. Worsening violence in Cameroon's Anglophone regions is taking an increasingly heavy toll on civilians, with renewed attack almost every day. These attacks are the latest escalations in nearly 7-year conflict between government security forces and separatist fighters. Through a video published by Amnesty International, it condemns abuses orchestrated by both the military and separatist fighters. More in the following story. More than 700,000 people have died, with thousands others displaced from homes as a result of the ongoing crisis in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. A sad reality of the devastating effects of the crisis on the population described in this video titled "Cameroon with or Against Us." Through this video outing, Amnesty International is condemning abuses orchestrated by both military officers and separatist fighters. Amnesty International also raises concerns about the way civilians are trapped in the conflict. The video also raises issues linked to Cameroon's international partners who continue to uphold good military relations with Cameroon despite the continuous killings. Through this 9 minutes and 51 seconds video, Amnesty International calls for the release of all persons arbitrarily detained. They are demanding systematic investigations to be carried out by the Cameroonian authorities against crimes committed by both Cameroonian army and separatist fighters. And the town of MBANG is currently facing difficulties due to heavy downpour. The persistent downpour has caused serious damages, making it difficult for people to go about their normal activities. More details with our student journalist on internship, Christy Ari.
The downpour has submerged ABONG flooding the road in the east region of Cameroon. One of the neighborhoods severely affected is INM, the road leading to the bilingual high school. It is impossible to move around, forcing students to take off their shoes to navigate through the water. We are unable to cross the road. The students as well find it hard to cross. If you don't have 100 francs, you can cross, or you better walk with your slippers that you can easily change it. It's so difficult for us to navigate through this road. The situation has created with an increased risk of skin and communicable disease. Despite this difficulty, school children struggle to get to school on time. Slippers are not accepted in school. When I come here, I change and put on my shoes. The water is not good. It gives us rashes. Certain bikes refuse to carry us. This road is so risky. This road, which caused the death of a student a few months ago, is far from being completed.
Starts tomorrow of Friday, December 1, 2023, a month considered as the end of year characterized with festivities. But how are Cameroonians planning to tackle the month? Hyacinth went finding out with some Cameroonians' history.
Few hours to the start of December 2023, the last month of the calendar year, Yaoundé inhabitants have made their little plans on how to tackle the festive month.
Is to make sure that I, do all the things that I had thought of doing. Yes, so I should be prepared to continue to enter into next year, that which I have finished all that which I was to do in 2003. Amen.
Me, I want to decorate my house, buy some stuff to my children, and cook food, many food, and invite all my family.
But to others, the economic hardship cannot permit them have any stable agenda.
Je n'ai pas de plan. Bon, nous sommes habitués au mois de décembre.
Non, je n'ai pas un plan. On a chassé les enfants à l'école. J'ai un plan pour décembre. C'est dur.
Despite the financial challenges, it will be a period of family reunion and numerous celebrations.
This December, I will travel to Bamenda to visit my relative, to go visit my brothers, my friends too, because it has really been long without me seeing them. Yes, I'll be very happy to go and see them in December. I'm convinced I may feast with them. After the feast, then I'll come back.
On prépare déjà les fêtes de famille, les réunions familiales déjà à l'Ouest Cameroun et ici à Yaoundé aussi.
We have family meeting, we have occasion, celebration, weddings. I have one in Douala. One of my friends is getting married in Douala. I'll be traveling to Douala.
Many equally have plans of strengthening their faith with God to be able to transit into 2024.
No, I am even planning to engage into fasting program because this season is very rough. A lot of bad things are happening. So we have to engage in fasting in order to preserve and to protect ourselves and also that of our family member and that of our children.
And to the business operators, many have explained that they will soon switch into selling festive items to be able to have a vibrant market.
And the city of Gandore in the Damawa region is grappling with a distressing issue that has alarmed its residents. Young children can be seen begging on the streets of violation on the Cameroonian laws prohibiting child labor and trafficking. In these reports, Christy Aya Are sheds more light on the phenomenon. Her story.
With cups or plastic containers in their hands, these young children roam the street of Gandore, desperately pleading for money. There are more than 600 here in Gandore, children who rule about. They will destroy our own children. Ranging from 5 to 14 years old, they spend their days wandering the town while their age mates are in school studying. Where they come from remains a mystery. I don't know if it was a truck that came and threw them here, because the children are not from Gandore. Investigation uncovered that there are certain individuals who exploit these vulnerable children and their parents by forcing them into street begging. There is someone who assigned them, and every evening they go and drop 1,000 francs to the person. It is, however, suspected that these children and their parents may have come from neighboring countries, but the exact details of their background and how they ended up in Gandore remain unknown. Tragically, street begging is not limited only to Gandore, also in other towns, including Douala.
Up with the project at a meeting in Gandore, the stakeholders brainstorm on possible sustainability measures of the homegrown school programs, which for the past 5 years has been funded by the State Department. Gladys Ambodibang has the rest of that story.
30 schools in the Adamawa region are involved in the pilot phase of the homegrown school feeding program designed to provide children in school with safe, diverse, and nutritious food sourced locally from smallholder farmers. This is also a means of supporting local agricultural production and processing and providing a market for farmers.
qualité.
This program is geared at providing school children nutritious midday meals on school days with locally grown produce. The program, financed by the American State Department since 2018, is almost at its end. Reason why these education, agricultural and health experts are meeting in Boundary to ensure that beneficiary smallholder farmers are ready to continue and sustain the program. As a concrete action undertaken by our council, we have deliberated and voted a budget to support school feeding, smallholder farmers, and even school gardening. It is necessary to provide smallholder farmers with agricultural inputs, management skills, and ensure they master the different technical production routes. While awaiting the implementation of a concrete school feeding policy, smallholder farmers are already expressing interest in developing the program.
And we stay in the northern part of Cameroon, but this time around we talk about the National Veterinary Laboratory that has been facing a series of controversies, including allegations of witchcraft and arbitrary dismissals, a sparkling public outcry intense social media debates. More with our student journalist on internship, Christy Ayare.
In recent weeks, the National Veterinary Laboratory is wrapped in controversy, with the director making sensational claims accusing one of the drivers of practicing witch hunting. 14 employees are now facing the disciplinary organ for the destruction of Lanavet's machine, causing a breakdown in production. 14 employees were sanctioned with great motives. What we care to know now is the qualification of the error. They won't tell you they stole vaccine. They won't tell you they destroyed the vehicles in Lanavet. They won't tell you they opened machines and poured sand in it. If they esteem that they were abusively sanctioned, then there is nothing to worry. Investigation will be carried out.
La loi vous permet de saisir l'inspecteur du travail du niveau.
Lanavet's manager contains that the recent controversies and subsequent sanctions are part of a larger restructuring process aimed at revamping the state corporation. He asserts that if the rules dictate that sanctions should be imposed, then it should be. All these employees are my children, and we have to listen to them. But if the rules state that they should be sanctioned, then they will be. Lanavet's manager remains steadfast in his commitment to address the controversies and to push forward the organization restructuring plans.
And experts have urged institutions of higher learning to focus on the teaching of soft skills to develop the mindset of entrepreneurship in students. The call was made yesterday at the National Advanced Engineering School in Yaoundé, drilling the young engineers on how to embark on initiatives that can foster development in Cameroon and Africa. More with our reporter, Aisen Cha.
The students of the National Advanced School of Engineering in Yaoundé, like their peers, are worried about what the job market holds for them after school.
We know that when we come out of school, it's not really easy for us to have a job or other things like that, to have a professional side. So it is important for us to have an idea, so how we can do, to what are we going to do, so that we can have more knowledge about how we are going to face professional life.
Reason why the experts are here to open their minds on the realities with changing times.
The world is becoming more and more complex, so you need also to integrate more and more knowledge, which apparently is not, the things don't go together, but in fact they do. So if you have that kind of knowledge about leadership, about entrepreneurship, and about the role of engineering in all this, you can go faster towards the path of development.
The young engineers on November 29 were drilled on 5 basic soft skills that can enable them focus on what they intend to become.
You have communication, that is one of those skills. You have teamwork, team players. That's it. That's a team, and also a vision. That is the main skills that I want them to understand today. They must have a vision of themselves. They have to project themselves into the future to know what they will be, what they want to be in 1 year, in 5 years, in 20 years. If they don't know what they want to be right now, they will not reach where they have to go.
The experts equally recommend that schools, especially higher institutions, should start teaching soft skills to students to enable them grow up with a mindset of entrepreneurship and leadership.
African women, Cameroon inclusive, remain grossly underrepresented in leadership positions, a problem that remains preoccupying, provoking some organizations to think out of the box. Corporate Women in Leadership Program 2023 is seen as a solution to problems of women in terms of leadership positions. More in the following story.
According to organizations crusading for women's leadership, there is a significant progress in the past 10 years in Cameroon and Africa in general. According to reports, many Cameroonian women hold positions of responsibility in national and international institutions, but their economic power remains low, particularly because of their limited access to strategic decision-making positions. At the National Assembly, there is a significant increase from 8.9% in 2007 to 31.1% in 2020. Despite the increase, they remain underrepresented in territorial governance. Corporate Women in Leadership, championed by Adeline Sede, is seen as a solution.
And not just a platform where we bring women to come and talk about how they made it to the top. No, we are a platform that follows up. And this is why before you even speak on our platforms, we tell you that when you accept or when you agree to speak on our platform, know that you are carrying our participants with you. How does this happen? This happens by you signing a form to mentor at least one woman from our network.
Counting its 9th edition of its program, Corporate Women in Leadership, a Fab Afrique Media Group initiative launched in 2016, the program seeks to empower women. Despite making great strides in various spheres of socio-economic life, African women, Cameroon inclusive, remain grossly underrepresented in leadership positions.
Africa in general does tend to have a lot fewer women in leadership positions. I'm sure the stats are well articulated by a number of people. Cameroon is no different in the sense that we definitely could see a lot more women in leadership positions across the private sector, possibly also in public. But notwithstanding that, I'm really encouraged by the work that the Corporate Women in Leadership team are doing.
The imbalance, according to experts, poses a significant change that hinders the ability of women to assume critical decision-making roles. Present for this thematic at the Corporate Women in Leadership Summit 2023, holding in Douala, the women are reflecting on a strategy, cracking the leadership code. Mitwa is heading one of the leading telecommunication companies in Cameroon. She shares her experience.
The 5 things that have been consistent across all my leadership experiences is what I shared with the ladies amongst being extremely clear on what your purpose is, maintaining a certain level of energy to sustain and drive and inspire your team, to be authentic in all that you do, to be truly yourself, especially now that as leaders, the type of leadership that's requires a lot more empathy, it requires a lot more ability to manage and juggle many, many plates at the same time.
It is true that standards are important, but it is also important to understand that it has to work for you. So when we talk about cracking the leadership code, we simply means what are some of those things that you need to put in place in order to succeed as a leader. People mystify things a lot. They hide secrets from you. They do not share their recipes.
Hundreds of women are taking part at the 2023 Summit of Corporate Women in Leadership, an initiative of Fab Afrique magazine.
And that report brings us to the end of this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. Thanks so much for watching. But coming up next is the brief with Lil Piaget. As for me, I will be back same time tomorrow. Good night.